Hi everyone, this is KIREI for Hey Little Magpie with a brand new layout, and I'm using the Jen Hadfield Groovy Darlin collection. I'm also using some elements from the upcoming Hey Little Magpie September Embellishment Kit, and I'm using the Hey Little Magpie Enamel dots in Forest. Okay, so I have two of the pattern papers here. This one is called Denim, and I'm just going to cut off the right portion so it leaves me with that sort of giant curved piece. I did think about cutting off the denim blue on the left there, but I decided to keep it because I quite like the pop, that colour that gave as well, this sort of contrast. And then I pulled out a piece of cardstock. Now, I ummed and ahed about going with white or a slightly sort of cream, and I did go with that sort of slightly off-white tone because the flowers on the pattern paper have a creamy colour to their cream, effectively. So I decided to go down that road rather than use white. Okay, so again, I have lots of photos. So I've got 8 small photos here, and I'm going to mount them on the orange pattern paper. This one is called Hippie, and I'm just going to mount them in 2 strips of 4. And then I will, as always, distress the edges, and then I can get them stuck down onto my layout. Now, my photos are from a trip to the US, which was in May. And we went to Nashville, Memphis, and New Orleans. It was fabulous. Brilliant, brilliant trip. Loved it. And these are photos from a visit to the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville. Now, I've actually start to make some lists of the layouts I want to create, because I was finding that I was forgetting that I hadn't done something, from a trip, a holiday, whatever it might have been. And I just really wanted to make sure that I was capturing the trips and the holidays that we've done. So I've got these long lists now, and I'm just sort of crossing layouts off as I go, when I find that there's a project that I'm doing, that I'm working on, that just fits, the layout that I want to do. So yeah, so this is another one ticking off my America trip. So so this was the Ryman Auditorium, and it's effectively, it started out as a church, and then it became known as a venue really for music. And for many years, it was actually the home of the Grand Ole Opry, which is the longest continual running radio show in the US. And effectively, they played country music. I mean, there was blues and all sorts as well, but it was very much known for country music. So for a long time, the Ryman Auditorium was the home of the Grand Ole Opry. It no longer is. They moved on to a bigger venue, but it still plays host to music and all of that sort of thing. So we went along to have a look round. It's great, but I've called, and you might have seen my title for my layout at the very beginning. Actually, it's called the Mother Church, and that's because it became known as the Mother Church of Country Music. So yeah, there's a little bit of a reasoning behind my title. Okay, so I've got my photos mounted. I was playing around with my embellishments. So I've got the coordinating ephemera from the Jen Hadfield Groovy Darlin collection. But I also have there's a giant sticker there that is Ryman Auditorium that I bought when we were there. When I was away, I was always looking for those little bits and pieces that I could actually add to a scrapbook layout. So yeah, so I've got that large. It's a giant sticker, effectively. So I've got that, and then I'm just bringing in some elements from the ephemera. And this collection worked particularly well, and that's the reason I picked it, because it has some music elements in there. There are some sort of Western style boots and that sort of thing that I thought worked perfectly for these particular photos. So yeah, and then I've also pulled out some of the embellishments from the Hey Little Magpie September Embellishment Kit. So I've got a few of those like knitted flowers in the green. There's some tiny little bows. There's one up the very top of the video, and what else do I use? Oh, there's a music note as well in gold. There's a silver one too, but I think I'm gonna use that on another layout. Yeah. So I'm just playing around, getting everything placed. Here we go. Okay, so everything's down, and I can start to get things stuck down. So I've got a cluster over there to the top right, and then this larger cluster down here on the bottom left. This just adding some little glasses in there. I mean, there's sunglasses. I mean, we're indoors, but I'm a bit like, well, we're both wearing, glasses, so that works. That's okay. Okay, the sticker here, I was umming and ahhing. I sort of started to peel it and thought, you know what, it's firm enough. I'm just going to leave it as is and stick it down. So that's okay. Um, just getting things placed down. And what you'll see is typically when I'm sticking things down, particularly this type of thing, I add the sort of glue down the center, but I do curve up the edges, and then it just gives me a little bit more dimension in my layouts, which I do like to do. So yeah, that's pretty standard for me when I'm scrapping. Okay, and then I get the little, I thought these little sets were cute, very retro. I mean, the collection is quite retro anyway with the colours, which sort of worked well because from my photos perspective, it's obviously quite, it's an older building. And of course, it had the music notes and music connection and the country sort of Western feel. So I thought, yeah, okay, get my second large sort of knit flower down and the gold music note. And what I love about the embellishment kits that Hey Little Magpie do every month, so you can actually subscribe to them and you can go onto the website and find all the details there. But what I love, there's lots of little bits and pieces, and I really love to add things that are different to just having, regular cardstock ephemera or stickers on a layout. So this gives you different types of, textures and elements that you can sort of tuck in. And they're all, really quite generic. I mean, you can always use a flower on a layout. So yeah, so I've got the little bows I've added. So that was my second one there. I just added on the top left, and there's one on the heart at the top right. I've got these are the Hey Little Magpie enamel dots in forest, and I'm just adding a little group of 3 enamel dots in and around the embellishment clusters. Yeah. Oh, I did add a little, it's like a guitar plectrum up the top right there that I'd also bought when I was away. That seemed to be quite a popular thing actually, but it's got the Ryman Auditorium on it, so I thought it was quite cute, and I knew I'd be able to sort of tuck it in on a layout somewhere. Okay, and then I've just pulled out, these are just some older alphas from my stash. So I've started off with these smaller ones, and then I've got the doodlebug ones, and I use for Mother Church, but I do actually change it off camera and just stick with the first one in the end. I just like the look of those better. So yeah, I changed that. I will add some journaling, obviously, underneath my title. I always add my journaling just to make sure I document exactly what it is we're doing, where we've been, and also the date. Anyway, here we go. Here is the final layout. I hope you've enjoyed watching the process video and feel inspired to use the Jen Hadfield Groovy Darlin collection and the Hey Little Magpie embellishment kits. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.